My heart drops to my feet. Why'd he have to make me do that? He slowly looks around the room to see who was talking. Shock, fear, disturbance. My heart was beating so fast. Have you ever had to take a test at school and get the paper and have no clue what to do because the whole test looked like it was typed in pig Latin? But then you look around the classroom and see everybody writing but you. And of course, you decided to procrastinate studying, so now the only choices you have left is to cheat or fail. But honestly, you can't risk failing, because if you do, you know you had a beating waiting for you at home. Let me see what grade you got on that test. She said I could redo it on my baby. Why'd he have to make me do that? Why? You know, I've always sucked at taking tests because it's either I don't study or my mind constantly starts wandering while I'm taking one. In this case, I just decided not to study because I believe
that if God don't do it, it just won't get done.
So it's the day of the test and I walk in the classroom. Wrong class. So I walk to the classroom and I go sit down. Our teacher goes over the rules, which is no phones out, no talking. And if she catches us doing either one of those things, we will receive a 0. She then hands us our test and my heart drops. I understood absolutely none of it. I could already see that fat F I was about to receive in my paper. At the time, I had this friend who was very smart named Luke. Luke was always at the top of the class. He always had the best grades and the best test scores. Luckily, he sat right by me, so at this point, he was my only option to pass this test. So I say, "Psst, hey Luke, you think I can get the answers for the test?" Sure, but you have to give me some of your lunch." "Okay, bet." So I started peeking at his paper and write some of the answers down. And I'm not gonna lie, Luke may have been the smartest kid in class, but his handwriting was absolutely horrible. For one of the questions, I didn't understand what he wrote, so I asked him, "Hey Luke, what did you write down for number 15? And this dude says in the loudest tone he possibly could, "Oh, the answer for number 15 is C." And mind you, the whole room was quietly taking their test and he basically just screamed the answers out. All of a sudden, the teacher looks away from her desk and stands up. She slowly looks around the room to see who was talking. I start to panic, so the only thing I could think to do is stare down at my paper and act like I was working. After a couple minutes of doing that, I go back to copying Luke's answers. But once again, there was another answer I couldn't translate on his paper. So I asked him about it. And as I asked him, I feel a tension coming from above me. It felt like a sudden wave of shock, fear, disturbance. So I slowly look up and my teacher was standing right above me. My heart drops to my feet. My face becomes filled with shock. Then my teacher says,
"What's the matter, Sydney? You look like you've seen a ghost."
It turns out she had been standing over me for about 3 minutes before I noticed. But then she reaches her hand down to my test and writes a big, fat F on my paper. When I tell you my heart was beating so fast, it felt like I was about to have a stroke. She took my test and moved me to a different seat. And the whole time, I was daydreaming about how bad of a beating I was going to receive once I get home. But she let me retake the test. But luckily for me, my parents didn't find out that day. Yo, if you like this video and want to see more videos like this one, make sure you like and subscribe and also hit that notification button to stay notified for when I post. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.